Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here with us today. After taking time out of your busy week, hopefully this Friday afternoon, evening will give a chance just to give a few minutes for some reflection and inspiration after what I'm sure has been a long week. So thanks again for being here. We have some exciting things planned for our session today. I would like to first off mention that this is a personally special event because this month's Breathe Peace session is being dedicated to International Youth Day, which is on August 12th. So we're celebrating and honoring the youth today. And as the Brahmakumari UN Youth Representative, I am especially excited, you can tell I'm stumbling over my words, to be here and to be here to celebrate all of the inspiring youth around the world who are change makers and hope bringers in their community. So with that, today's title is Innovation, Youth, and Fun. So those are the three things that we're going to be sort of covering and hoping to have a great conversation with our special guest who is here with us today, Ryan Campbell. And with that, is Ryan here with us? Not yet? Okay. So, and while we wait for Ryan to join us, we wanted to create a space to have a few minutes of reflection. Oftentimes in a busy week, you know, we go from one thing straight into another, and we don't really give ourselves the time or space to really pause. So we're going to take just a few minutes to pause right now and ask. I have three questions to ask you. We'll show them on a slide as well. In case you're a visual person, they'll be on a slide. But just take a few minutes, and if you have a piece of paper, you can jot them down, or if you want to just, you know, remember your answers. But I've got three questions for you. Okay, the first question is, are you, sort of a loaded question, I know, a big question for a Friday afternoon. Are you truly happy with where you are in life right now? Are you truly happy with where you are in your life right now? Follow that up with, is there something that you want to change? If yes, what is it? And lastly, what's stopping you or holding you back from making that change? Okay, so these are the three guiding questions. If you feel comfortable sharing your responses, we would love to hear from you. If you want to put them in the chat, you don't have to share everything. You can just put an abbreviated version. If you don't feel comfortable sharing in the chat, I know these answers might be personal. You can just sort of jot them down, you know, on your phone or a piece of paper. So we'll give you a few minutes just to spend some time with these questions. All right. Hope you had enough time just to jot down some of your answers. I did get a few direct message to me, and someone was sharing that they are very happy in their life right now, and that there's really nothing that they would want to change. So how lucky for you. That's always a very special spot to be in life, when you can just be fully content with whatever situations or obstacles can come your way, but that you're happy and content. So hopefully we can all be in that place as well. So with that, keeping those questions in mind, we wanted you to have a moment to really take that in, and have a moment for yourself before we dive into this interview, which will hear a lot of great content coming from our special guest, Ryan Campbell. And I think he is now here with us. If I saw correctly, if someone can make him, there we go.
Yes, hi.
All right. Hi, Ryan. Nice to have you with us. Thank you so much. I know you've got a busy day here. So glad you could make it.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little bit late.
That's okay. That's okay. We just went through some of the reflection questions, and I think we're ready to jump into it. So I can go ahead and say, for those of you who don't know me, I introduced myself a little bit. I'm the Brahmakumari UN Youth Representative. My background is in public health, and I'm currently a medical student at UCLA. And with me today in this special interview is Ryan Campbell, who holds many, many titles. To list off a few of them, he is a pastor for the Good News Syracuse Church, an advisor for the Christian Youth Association, chaplain for the USA Chaplain Association, director of the IYF Syracuse branch, and a specialist in mind education. So you are wearing many hats today. So thanks for being with us. And maybe we can jump right in, and if you could mind telling us a little bit about your organization and how youth are involved.
So our organization is called International Youth Fellowship. We also, like you said, I'm an advisor for Christian Youth Association as well. They're both Christian organizations, and organization work to guide young people to have a strong mindset for the challenges and difficulties that they face in life. Because our programs are all geared towards teaching a mindset. No matter what do you do in life, you need to have a proper mindset to do it. Because as a young person, especially, you're going to face difficulties, you're going to face challenging. But if I take my fist and smash a tofu, it's just gonna splatter out. But if I take my fist and punch a brick wall, I might break my fingers, right? That's because it's not that my fist is strong, it's that the brick is strong and the tofu is soft. Just like that, the fist is like the problems and difficulties that we face in life. And if my heart is soft like a tofu, then all of those problems and difficulties are just going to crumble me down. And that's how we see many young people have a breakdown. Some of them committing suicide, some of them end up bullying other people, some of them end up going to school, shooting up the school. And all these things happens from a weak heart. It's not because they are strong. Bullies don't bully because they're strong. It's because their hearts are weak. And so we're teaching them to have a strong mindset, a strong heart. And that comes from where we first of all acknowledge and accept our shortcomings, and we embrace them, and that's how we can be able to be a person that is free to open up and connect with other people. And that's what makes us, have a strong heart. And that's the key focus of our organization.
Wow. Well, that is definitely incredibly important work, especially in today's age. It feels like there are all kinds of fists in the world that are trying to beat us down. So definitely agree with strengthening sort of that heart and mind, and the connection between the two. And I loved the tofu and brick analogy. I think that'll definitely stick with me going forward. So just to delve in a little bit deeper, can you talk about sort of more practically, like what are some practical examples of how it is that you're empowering the youth, either with creativity or innovation, or, what are you doing to sort of help strengthen that heart or that mind, and any lessons that the rest of us can take away from that as well?
Sure. The key part of our organization is a lecture called the Mind Lecture. And that is implemented in every program that we do. For example, if I should go more practical, we have an online camp where young people from all around the globe gather together. And on that camp, we have different activities and programs that, inquires, team building. And so they get, questions and challenges that they have to work together as a team. And also we invite a lot of prominent guest speakers. And we don't just invite any guest speaker. That guest speaker is someone that has been going through or some kind of challenge, has been through some kind of challenge or difficulties in life that prevented them or that gave him the idea that it's not going to work, but they didn't stop there. Even though he told him that it's not going to work and things seems like there was no way, they were able to surpass that, push beyond that. And that's what we call a challenge. That's what we call having a strong mind, because there's always going to be a time in life when you feel like you can't go any further. But if you give up there, that's when your life finishes. So you have to learn how to push beyond that. And so we invite those kind of guest speakers to share. And their key point is failure. Whenever they speak, whosoever you speak to, their key point is failure. Even though they're successful, they tell you that success is not success without failure. You have to embrace and acknowledge that you are going to fail at times. But you don't just lay down and say, oh, I'm a failure, but you learn from those mistakes. You take up off of yourself and you learn from those mistakes. You learn from people around you, and you move forward again. And so, and those kind of prominent speakers, they come and they speak with the students. We also invite different, people from different companies, like say Starbucks or Mercedes Benz or, Home Depot, and they show their talent, right? With, they show what they do so that young people can see, oh, that looks cool. I would like to do that someday. So they can, kind of get a direction of what kind of career they want to do in life. So we also do that kind of program. So this camp normally is held offline, where we have in America, we have about 800 to 1,000 students attending. Last year, no, not last year, but the last time we had this camp, which was a month ago, we had 2,400 students who registered for this camp alone online. And so the pandemic gave us a great opportunity, actually. And so we believe that many of these students will be attending the next camp we have. So we'll be having double the amount of people that we normally have in person in America. And so we're very excited for that. So that's one of the programs that we do, that is very hands-on and, working together with many people. And let me say this, we're working with many juvenile centers, detention centers, correctional facilities. We work with the NYPD. They have a program called the Police Explorers. So we work with them and we do our mind education program for the young people in the organizations as well. And so that's also a hands-on program that we do.
Wow, that's quite a reach. You guys are doing everything, and
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I think that the silver lining of some of the COVID obstacles is that with things shifting online, it seems like maybe we're able to increase access a little bit. People who
Mm-hmm.
maybe it was harder geographically to get a plane ticket or go somewhere, or the Brahma Kumaris also host some youth events and retreats, but they would typically have always been physical in nature.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like there's this trend here of once it's online, being able to open up access and maybe being able to reach harder
Mm-hmm.
populations where that was a barrier before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um,
Yes.
what would you say, I mean, just in your experience as well, what do you think are some of like the challenges are that youth are facing right now, sort of key challenges that this generation has that maybe makes it harder for either other generations to understand, or just what's going on if you had to take the pulse?
You're talking about in general with young people.
Yeah.
I think in general, young people, that's today's society is guiding people to do things on their own, which is not good. Because if you look at the social media tells you, it leads you to a position where you're isolated, actually. You don't speak to anyone. You just talk to, your friend that is not physically a friend, or even if it's physically a friend, is far away from you, right? And also, if you look at how the society is structured, the internet is guiding people to trust within themselves. And so when I was younger, I would come home from school and be like, Mom, I got this homework. How do you do this? But today you're like, you get a homework, you come on, you don't even see mom and dad. You go do that by yourself because you have internet, right? And so there is no communication. And people think now, young people think that they're smarter than their parents or their grandmas. Man, I'm not smarter than my grandma. My grandma would come smack me and say, "Boy, what do you know?" But because that's the mentality that the society is, teaching people today, then young people tend to trust in what they think is right rather than listening to their parents, rather than listening to even their peers, rather than listening to, some figure that knows more than them, that can teach them something. And I think that is very, very wrong, and that is not good and not healthy. So we battle against those kind of things. So in our organization, whatever we do, we have a time for fellowship. When I say fellowship, I mean just a heart to heart talk. You share what's in your heart, what you're going through. Don't keep things boiled up inside. And I think that's one of the challenges that young people have today. They do not know how to communicate with each other. They do not know how to express their hearts. They do not know how much important it is to express and connect with other people. So I think that's one of the biggest problems that we're having with, young people today.
Yeah. What if we flipped the coin to the other side? Are there some strengths that you think this generation has that that yeah, I guess are what's going to make us hopefully help change the world in a positive
Oh,
direction? What do you
young people
think?
have a lot of strength. First of all, young people are innovative.
Yep.
They're very talented. They have a lot of ideas. And I know this because I have been working with young people for a long time. And through our organization called SIA, I mean, today I mostly talked about IYF, but through our association called SIA, I realized that because when we had our online event for Christian leaders, it was our young people that invited all the worship teams. None of our, head leaders or head pastors or ministers, they didn't work on that team. It was the youth. These young people that were in middle school, high school, and college, they were reaching out to top of the top worship leaders like CC Winans, like Torrin Wells, like these big Matt Redman, these big top of the top, singers. They reached out to them and they like tell them, hey, we are doing this for young people and we would love for you to support. And then they're the ones that are reaching out to them and invited them. And we had about 20 different worship groups until now that participate in our events. And we're looking and we're like, who did this? It's our young people. So our young people are so talented, they have wisdom, they can do so much more. But the problem is they don't use that talent because it's like this. When you look at a larva, right? It seems like it's just a larva, but no, it's a butterfly. Young people are just like that. Young people are the that bright star that brights up a dark sky. But in order for that star to shine brightly, there must be darkness. But many people don't want that darkness. They don't want difficulties. They don't want challenges. But I believe that young people are so talented, so gifted, and there's so much that they have to offer to society.
I absolutely agree, 100%. Very well said. I have nothing else to add. That I think that summed it up beautifully. I have one more question for you, but after this, I'm going to open it up to the audience for questions. So while we go over this last question, you in the audience, if you have anything that you would like to ask Ryan, now's your chance. You can put a question in the chat, and we'll open it up. Okay, so just to continue this conversation a little bit here, Ryan. We've talked a little bit about spirituality, and it sounds like in your work you incorporate a lot of this innovation and fun. And so I'm just wondering, how else can we make sort of spirituality and self-development fun, sort of bringing the joy into it. Oftentimes things like that maybe are relegated to older generations. Young people are maybe more inclined to say, okay, I'll deal about that, or think about the big life questions when I'm 50, rather than right now. So what are ways that you guys are sort of making these opportunities and this chance to really do that self-development, strengthening the heart, being in that community? How do you make that sort of fun so that people want to participate?
And so, like I said, the thing about spirituality, what people have to understand is, it's not is not just for older people, it's for all of us, because it has to do with what kind of mindset you live with. Because that spirituality of our organization focuses on how you think, how do you perceive things. So for example, I could be living thinking that, oh, I'm so weak, I'm so lacking, I'm not smart, and I could be locked away in despair. But that spiritual side of it is what takes me out of despair. Why? Because somebody's going to look at me and say, hey, you don't know how great you are. You don't know how strong you are. You're, and let's use this. I mean, our organization is a Christian organization. So for young people, I would say, hey, inside of God, you're stronger than that. You don't have to be weak. You're a great person. So we would use these kind of, phrases and this kind of explanation to let them realize that they're not who they think they are. So the you that you think you are today is not the you that you are tomorrow.
Hmm.
So there's this motto: don't look at what you are today, but have hope in what you can become tomorrow.
Hmm.
And so spirituality is for everyone, because if you live your life neglecting the fact that you need to communicate, have fellowship, that there's a higher being, then you're going to live a life that is basically self-centered, basically. But if you live a life that's self-centered, you're going to be in a very miserable state, because when you're locked away inside of your thoughts by yourself, there's no way out and there's no one to help you. And so we encourage young people, do not live locked away in your own thoughts. Do not lock out everybody that's around you, but open up your heart, because stagnant water, right? It happens, water becomes stagnant when it doesn't move. But when water flows, it's always fresh, just like a river. So it's the same thing. Our hearts have to continually flow, just like a river, for it not to become stagnant like water that does not move. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Beautiful. Well, with that, I wanted to just give the opportunity for anybody in the audience, if there were any questions that arose, if anybody wants to put it in the chat real quick, that would be great. I'll give it a few seconds. No. All right, looks like maybe we've covered everything, and you've spoken so beautifully that I think there are no questions. You were getting some nice feedback about some very nice thoughts we've been talking about. So I guess here's a question that's come in. Will you tell us a little bit about how you're helping young people sort of with COVID mental health issues? I know that's been a big problem sort of within our generation, and pandemic has just been making that a lot worse. So any thoughts there on how to support young people, or what you guys are doing there?
So for the pandemic, we actually developed a lot of different programs for young people, because during the pandemic, I think a lot of young people became isolated and stressed out a lot, because they're not used to, working on computer. They're not used to, you're sitting in front of the computer the whole day. And so to study in an atmosphere like that is not easy,
Yeah.
so what we did is that we started to do a lot of programs virtually. And that's basically, we have something that's called the Heart Upgrade Program. So what that is that there are different activities and programs that they do together as a group. So even though they're at home, they don't have to feel like they're at home. They feel like they're with other people. We make groups where they're going to breakout rooms and they discuss different things and they come back. So right now, actually, we are running a summer retreat. That's why you see my thing says 2020 online summer retreat. So I'm in charge of the middle school and high school program. And the reason why I came late today, because I was running the scavenger hunt. They're playing a scavenger hunt right now, and everybody's like texting my phone with all the clues and stuff, and I have to reply to them. And actually, I fell asleep in the chair like this. I fell asleep in the chair, literally fell asleep in the chair. And so my another director came and said, "Hey, you gotta wake up." And then I saw Sabita calling me and all these people calling me. Like, oh my god, I'm late. and so and so that's what I'm late. But yeah, that's the kind of programs that we did for them, during the pandemic. And the thing is that not many organizations did this. They were not that much innovative to create programs. They didn't know that you can play a virtual scavenger hunt. They didn't know that you can use Zoom to do so many awesome programs. So many churches or organizations just remain in the dark, and they were just doing like conference calls over the phone and stuff. But we utilized Zoom and did so many things through it. And so the young people, even though they were at home, I mean, I can't. I'm sure that some of them are tired of it right now because everything has a limit.
Yeah.
If this continues to next year, I'm praying. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm
Yep.
struggling right now
I
because
feel that.
they have been through it for a year, and it's hard. It's hard. So but anyway, many of them, because they have been participating in these programs, even though they were at home, they're really changing. Let me just tell you about one program that we did yesterday. It's called Nothing Like Parents. What we did was Nothing Like Family. What we did was we asked two questions. The first question is, what is a dream that you would like to fulfill before you die? The second question was, if you had 1 year to live, would you choose between $5 million or your dream? And many of the students, they gave their answers, and we secretly recorded their parents answering the same question. And after they answered their questions, we played their videos of their parents answering the same questions, and they saw how different and what they wanted and what the parents wanted were. They were thinking about themselves, but the parents were thinking about family. Their dream was to spend time with their family before they die. Everything was about the family. So many students cried yesterday. And at the end, we said, okay, everybody take out your cell phone, and I want you to call your parents and tell them how much you love them. And if you're sorry about something, tell them you're sorry about it, express your heart. And so there was a student, we spotlight her, and her mom was secretly in the Zoom. And when she called her mom, we spotlight her mom as well. And she started crying. Oh, mom, I love you. I love you. I'm so sorry. And so when students saw that, they realized, wow, I was thinking wrong about my parents. And so we do these kind of programs as well. And so it was
Wow.
very touching yesterday.
What
Mhm.
a great example. And as you said, I think there's a lot of innovation that can be done through things like Zoom if you have enough sort of creativity and big picture thinking, which it sounds like you and your whole team do. So
Mhm,
that's
mhm,
so great. I'm so glad that these kids in this community have you supporting them and
mhm.
supporting all of their futures. So thank you so much for sharing everything about the great work that you're doing, and keep it
Yes,
up. And thank you again for being here with us today.
no problem. Thank you guys so much for
Yeah.
having me today.
Yes, virtual cheers. I think lots of people are applauding. We're getting some nice comments coming in the chat saying thank you. If you
Mhm,
want to
mhm,
hang on for a few minutes with us, we're going to now transition to the closing of today's session. We're going to have a
mhm.
short meditation with Sister Priya. Sister Priya is the Meditation Center coordinator of the Brahma Kumari's St. Louis branch, and she's been a Raj Yoga meditation practitioner since 2002. So she facilitates self-development classes and workshops for people from all walks of life. And her classes are simple, engaging, and motivational. So we are very lucky to have her here with us today. So Sister Priya, we welcome you and look forward to you taking us on a little meditation journey.
Thank you. Thank you, Shivani. And thanks, Ryan, for sharing your beautiful work you do for the youth community. I'm sure you touch many people's lives through your energy and whatever beautiful projects you connect, especially to connect parents and children, to bridge the gap. It's not easy. And I'm glad you and your organization are doing it wonderfully. So let's prepare for our meditation. I would request all of you to sit straight, and you can close your eyes for this. And you can follow my voice. So I allow my body to relax. And I let go of all worries, responsibilities. And I let go of all my duties, the things I have to do. So I clear my head and I clear my mind for a few minutes. I pause all the doing and I focus on my inner being, In the screen of my mind, I visualize that I'm standing on the beach. I'm standing on the beach shore. I could see the vast ocean in front of me. And there is no one with me at this point. I'm alone in the beach. I'm connecting with my inner being. I could breathe the fresh air. I could feel relaxed, calm, and free. I create a positive thought that I am a peaceful being. And as the waves touch my feet, I feel the coolness in the water, which reminds me of my inner beauty, the inner coolness, that I am a cool being of light and peace. It reminds me who I am internally. I connect to my inner being of peace, love, and purity. As each wave touches my feet, it reminds me my inner strength, the powerful being within me. I am a powerful being, and I can do whatever I want to do. And as each wave touch my feet and move away from me, I take in all the positivity and let go of all negativity. A wave comes in, I take in positivity, and the wave leaves me. I let go of all weaknesses and negativity. I connect with the ocean of peace, the source, and draw the vibrations of peace from the source. I breathe in peace, breathe out peace. Peace is my true nature. I share this peace with everyone. At this point, I immerse everyone in my family, friends, contacts, everyone is on the beach. And as I look at everyone, I share my vision of peace, my thoughts of peace to them who are all standing on the beach with me. I also share my pure good wishes with the whole universe, with the world, with my little packets of peace to each soul in this world. I send my pure thoughts and my good wishes for everyone to move ahead in their life, to let go of all their negativity, negative habits, and let them nurture the beautiful being within them. So I share these thoughts with everyone in my contact. Slowly, I come back, leaving the scene of the beach. I come back to my seat, come back to the awareness of the part I play. And I play this part with so much inner peace and love for everyone. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Sister Priya. I already feel so much calmer. I think my heart rate has slowed down significantly. And I'm ready to maybe also go to the physical beach. So
You can
thank you.
go, right? You're
Yes.
in California, so you can go.
Exactly. Well, perfect. I think that was the perfect way to end this special program. So thank you to Sister Priya and thank you to Ryan for sharing all about his work and his organization. I think this was a wonderful way to honor the International Youth Day that once again is on August 12th. So hence why this session was dedicated to learning all about innovation, youth, and fun. And I think we did exactly that. So thank you all for being here, for staying for the whole program, for hearing about all these different activities. We do have some announcements about our next episode of the Breathe Peace series, and some contact information that will be shared with you. I think the some of the contact emails was already put in the chat earlier. If you're looking for the contact information for the Brahma Kumaris at the United Nations, here is our website and the website for Ryan's organization as well. So you can take a screenshot of that if you wish to keep it. I think we have another slide with the next program. All right, so the next event in this series is the first Friday of the month. So that will be September 3rd. It'll be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're all 30-minute sessions, just like this one. It will be broadcast on both Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook. If you have any questions or more information, the UN office email is listed right here. So we hope that you will all come back next month to the next episode of this series, September 3rd. Mark your calendars.
I would like to say a big thank you to Ryan and to Shivani, of course, and to Priya. I'm sorry, for some reason, my computer is not allowing me to write in chat. And so I'm trying to say how wonderful it was to listen to Ryan and to all of you, and I can't. So I had to unmute myself to say it in live. So.
Perfect.
So thank you all very much. And Ryan, that was very inspirational, and wish you all the best. I know that you do a lot, and we're really grateful that you came on today. And I love that virtual treasure hunt. I think we should try it among ourselves. And Priya, that was lovely also. The meditation was beautiful. And thank you, Shivani. And happy Youth Day to all of you, the young and the young at heart.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone.
And of course, thank you all for coming in this afternoon.